saloons to graveyards where evil sleeps, they walk amongst secrets they keep. Nightmare hunters with souls ablaze, cleaning up this town through the dark haze. Ladies of the night with eyes of red, vampires in the alleys where good men dread, wolfmen howling beneath the pale moon, but justice is coming and coming soon. From saloons to graveyards where evil sleeps, they walk among us, secrets they keep. Nightmare hunters with souls ablaze, cleaning up this town through the dark haze. Cryptids themselves, yet they stand tall against the darkness, answering the call for every lost soul, every whispered prayer. They fight for the light in the midnight air. From saloons to graveyards where evil sleeps, they walk among us, secrets they keep. Nightmare hunters with souls ablaze, cleaning up this town through the dark haze. The night is young, the hunt begins. For against the darkness where hope never ends.
Good evening, folks, and thank you all for joining us on another Monday Mayhem. Joining me in the studio tonight is Robbie Jed Rains, my brother from another mother from South Crackalacky. Robbie, how you doing tonight, brother?
Doing good. How are you, brother?
Oh, so far so good, but it's early,
True.
as they say. So we tonight it is actually hot in my office as opposed to cold. So tonight we should have no problem writing. You just may see me wipe my bald forehead once in a while because I'm starting to sweat. But I'm not complaining, mind you. I'd rather be warm in here than freezing cold. Missouri weather's like a rubber band. It'll snap in every direction, and you just don't know what it's going to be. But it was cold yesterday, and it was kind of warm today, and it's supposed to get warmer, and then it's going to get cold again. And yeah, a lot of places have 4 seasons in a year. We have 4 seasons in an afternoon sometimes.
Yeah, it was 20 in here.
Our weather's crazy. Mother Nature's off her meds in Missouri. Well, Robbie, I believe you've got a little update information about your newest book projects. You want to let's go over those a little bit before we get jumping in here.
So I just crossed over like 41,000 words in Shadowhunter. Well, title update. DA and I talked about it, and because this is technically a Wild Hunt book, but it's not codename Wild Hunt, we kind of messed around, and tentatively what we've kind of landed on, I guess it may change, but what we've got right now is this book is going to be called Wild Hunt Shadowhunters Project Manticore. Kind of a long title, but we wanted to be able to incorporate, the fact that it was actually part of the Wild Hunt series. So getting ready to start chapter 18 on that. So hopefully if things go okay, go right, hopefully, I should be done with that book this week. I've already talked with Luca and gave her the few ideas, and so hopefully she's doing some work on cover and things like that, and so hopefully maybe by end of next week that book will be coming out.
That'd be awesome, dude. And I'm just a little over 30,000 on Leviathan down. I really need to get to cranking on that and keep up with Robbie, but I've got a bunch of other projects I'm working on as well. So hopefully over the next few months, we should have a lot of reading material to keep you guys busy. Especially now that we've secured a good cover artist, and she works well with us. Luke is a fantastic artist as well as being a fantastic writer. So we're going to have those all set in motion fairly quickly, because she's really easy to work with, and she helps us get our stuff done in a very timely manner as well. I wanted to kind of touch on something for those of you who were with us last night. I want to mention Eric Testerman again. Eric's having some issues right now, and if you guys were tuned in on the show last night, you know the situation. He's just having some real bad trouble right now and could use our help. I've been sending what I can. I know a lot of other people have been, but if you guys are so inclined, mods, if you don't mind putting his PayPal link up again, kind of like do it periodically through the show. If you guys can help out, please do, because I really think that we can band together and really help him, and he needs it. He deserves it. He's a good dude. He's helped me so many times. He'll give you the shirt off his back. So we'll be posting that link throughout the show. And if you guys can, if you can help, great. If you can't, prayers are more than appreciated there. We appreciate every prayer we can get. So having said that, we're going to kind of start leaning back toward actually doing some writing on this writing program. Did we already read the last part?
No, we didn't read anything last time. We just talked about book stuff.
Okay. So. Yeah, because it was so cold back here, I was all hunched up in my hoodie.
Yep.
All right. I wonder how far back should I go? Should I just read that whole chapter?
Probably, because it's been a while, and everybody probably needs a refresher.
Okay. Well, this was chapter 8, Wayland's Forge, 20 Martius, village of Balakulish. Rigan sat up and accepted a cool drink of water from Rhiannon. His fever had finally broken, and the wound had not festered. Both were good signs that he would recover from this and live to fight another day. Rhiannon smiled at him sweetly, then helped him lay back down on the bed. "Thank you," he muttered. "You shut it," she answered playfully. "You're too weak to be talking. Now shut your gob and get some rest." "Aye," agreed Rigan, easing back onto the cushions and closing his eyes. Across the village clearing, Rigan could hear the sound of steel ringing on steel and smell the heat of the forge. Wayland was already hard at work on the blades. "Is he dead?" asked Cormac as he stuck his head into the hut. "Not quite," replied Rhiannon. "Sod off, you dafty," spat Rigan. "I've still enough strength to put ye down, you big ox." Cormac began laughing heartily. "Aye, he's alive," Cormac said, wiping his eyes with the back of his hand. "Glad you survived, old friend. Looks like we'll need you afore this is over." "He's in no shape for fighting," replied Rhiannon. "Not for a spell. He's got a fair bit of healing yet to do." "How's the progress on the swords?" asked Rigan, trying to sit up. "Sit still, you idiot," admonished Rhiannon. "You'll rip that wound open if you move around too much." "Do as she says, Rigan," added Cormac. "You need your rest. We've got the molds set for 7 swords, no 2 of which will be the same." "Then I reckon they'll need names," said Rigan, wincing as he lay back, closing his eyes in pain. "Aye," agreed Cormac, "that they will." "How long will it take to forge the blades?" asked Rigan. "Wayland sent word to every apprentice he's ever trained over the years," replied Cormac. "I ain't ever seen this many masters are working on the same project before. 4 masters and 9 apprentices are working day and night. We also have 6 druids working the bellows and blessing the steel as it's forged." "How long did it take to melt the steel?" asked Rigan. "Well, that's the craziest bit, old friend," said Cormac. "Once it was all gathered in the crucible, that wife of yours began singing, and a bolt of lightning came out of the blue and melted it all. We poured all 7 swords at the same time." "And the shards?" asked Rigan. We placed a shard in each crosspiece while the steel was still molten," replied Cormac. "Then there's the dwarves." "The what?" asked Rigan. The druids began the ceremony by asking for help in completing this task, explained Cormac. During the storm that followed, 6 dwarves came out of the woods and began helping. They're master craftsmen. I ain't ever seen their like. Rhaegan looked at Rhiannon and smiled. Don't look at me, she said. I hadn't anything to do with it. Then where did they come from? Asked Rhaegan. Their leader introduced himself as Balric Ironheart, answered Cormac. He said he's here to help forge the weapons that'll one day save our world and his. I ain't ever heard of a place called Valgard. Do you think it's near where the Northmen came from? I never heard of it either, replied Rhaegan. We must thank these strangers. No thanks are needed, lad, said a gruff voice from behind Cormac. They all looked up to see a powerfully built dwarf standing just outside of the doorway. Please come in, said Rhiannon. Thank ye, said the dwarf. I'm Balric Ironheart of Clan Ironheart. We came here to help you. And we appreciate it, Rhiannon said. How can we ever repay you? No thanks are needed, girl dear, said Balric. I heard tell one ye call Rhaegan is hurt. I brought some healing herbs that should help. He removed a pouch from his belt and handed it to Rhiannon. She opened it and removed several dried petals of a red flower. What's this? She asked. We call it the king's blood flower, replied Balric. There's an old poem that goes with it. It goes like this. The riddle of the king's blood flower. Blood red are the flowers of the deep. Round tombs of great kings do they creep. When ground and a poultice applied, soothes breathing and fevers subside. When steeped as a tea from a bud, stops poison and purifies blood. When crushed and packed in a bleed, aids clotting and healing with speed. If chewed and held under the tongue, relieves pain and cures miner's lung. Thank you, said Rhiannon. How do we use it? Make it into a poultice, explained Balric, then pack it in the wound. It'll heal quick. Rhiannon began working on the remedy while Balric took a seat close to where Rhaegan lay. Once you're on the mend, said Balric, we should talk. Aye, agreed Rhaegan. I'm looking forward to it. Balric nodded, then stuck out his hand. Rhaegan took it, and they clasped forearms like warriors. Rest well, said Balric. With that, the gruff old dwarf stood and walked out of the door without further preamble. Once he was gone, Cormac looked over at Rhaegan and smiled. If I hadn't seen it with me own een, said Cormac, I never would have believed it, but that dwarf is stronger than any warrior I've ever met. He lifted an anvil with one hand and moved it to give himself more room to work. Rhaegan's eyes opened wide. You saw it yourself? Asked Rhaegan. Aye, clear as day, Cormac assured him. They might be dwarves, but a lot of them are strong warriors. Here's hoping they stick around for the fight. Rhiannon began applying the poultice, and Rhaegan winced as she touched the wound. But after just a few seconds, he felt the pain begin to subside. That stuff works a miracle, said Rhaegan. The pain's almost gone. I wish we could plant this and get it to grow, said Rhiannon. There's only petals and no roots. Pity, said Cormac. We might need all of this before this is done. We might all need this before this is done. Rhiannon took a pinch of a petal and crushed it into a cup of hot water, then let it steep. After a few minutes, she gave it to Rhaegan. Drink this, me love, she said. It'll help you heal and sleep. Rhaegan did as he was instructed, then found himself growing weary. It wasn't long before he drifted off into a deep sleep. Rest well, whispered Rhiannon. The next morning, Rhaegan awoke, and the pain was gone. The wound wasn't fully closed, but it was healing quickly. There was no sign of blood poisoning, and the pus had stopped draining. He only had a slight twinge of pain if he turned too much. He winced when he got out of bed and reached for his clothes. And where do you think you're going? Asked Rhiannon. I thought I'd get out of this accursed bed, replied Rhaegan. I want to stretch my legs. Let me check your wounds before you go overdoing it, she insisted. Rhaegan waited until she was sure the wound wasn't going to reopen, but she cleaned it and packed it with more of the poultice before nodding her approval. Fine now, she said, scowling, but ye best not be overdoing it. No fighting or fussing with the lads. Aye, I won't, Rhaegan assured her. Before he could leave, Rhiannon stuck her head out of the hut and looked around. She found Cormac walking her way from the well. Cormac, she called. Rhaegan insists on going for a walk. Will you walk with him and see Tate he doesn't get into anything? Aye, said Cormac. He's up already? That dwarf poultice must really pack a wallop. It does, she replied, but he's far from healed. I'll be fine, Rhaegan said as he ducked out of the hut. I need some air. I ain't planning on fighting anyone. I'll see to him, Cormac said, grinning. Come on, old friend, before she changes her mind. With that, Rhaegan and Cormac headed for the forge to check on the steel. They could still hear the ringing of metal as they approached, but were surprised to find that it was just Wayland putting the finishing touches on another project. "Where are the swords?" asked Reagan. "The dwarves are in the hut putting the finishing touches on them," said Wayland. "How can that be?" asked Reagan. "You only began a few days ago." "Magic," said Wayland, "and the skill of the dwarves. We'd still be tempering the steel if it weren't for them." When they arrived, explained Wayland. "Oh, no, how so?" asked Reagan. "Well, when they arrived," explained Wayland, "they already had the handles and pommels ready. Bowrick said he had a dream of this place and had them prepared for us aforehand." Before Wayland could say more, the dwarves began emerging from the hut. They each carried a blade, but Bowrick carried two. Reagan was stunned at the beauty of the blades. He'd never seen their equal. "They's ready," said Bowrick. "We needs to fashion the sheaths yet, but the blades themselves is ready." "Which one is which?" asked Reagan. "We not only forged the blades with the shards you gave us," said Bowrick, "but we also infused the blades with dwarven rune magic. These blades will hold like no other weapon in this world. At least none built since the old gods walked this place." Reagan exchanged glances with Cormac. "This one, the rune's named Caliburn," said Bowrick, handing it first to Reagan. "Caliburn means steel of kings." When Reagan accepted it, there was a flash of blue light and dwarven runes appeared on the blade, then faded slowly from sight. "I think that one's meant for ye, lad," said Bowrick. "Otherwise it wouldn't act like that." Reagan held the blade up and inspected it. "It's beautiful," said Reagan in awe. And bound to your bloodline for all time," said Bowrick, "the line of Pendragon." "How did you begin, Reagan?" "I saw it in the runes on the blade," explained Bowrick. "And who else gets one of them?" asked Cormac. Bowrick nodded at another dwarf who brought up a massive two-handed sword. He reverently handed it to Cormac, who accepted it slowly. As soon as it touched his hand, there was another flash of blue, and runes appeared on the blade. "The new runes name it Marai MacTyre," said Bowrick, "the Wolf Slayer." "And the others?" asked Cormac. "Have not chosen their wielders just yet," said Bowrick, "yet the runes did name them. This one is Durandal, meaning enduring or unbreakable." Reagan stared in awe at the blades. "This one's called Hrunting," said Bowrick. "It means hunter in the language of the Northmen." "This blade is called Joyous. It means joyful. And this is Grammar. It means wrath. And lastly is this'n. The runes name it Ulfbert, which means bright wolf." "They're beautiful," Reagan said, staring at the blade in his hand. "How will we know who to give them to?" "Oh, you'll know," replied Bowrick. "The blade won't respond to any but the chosen wielder." "Aye," added Cormac, "like mine and yours did, Reagan." "All right," Reagan said. Let's find the right men to take this fight to the creatures." "What about your Roman friend?" asked Cormac. "Might he be one of the chosen?" "Could be," replied Reagan. "We'll have to take it to the citadel and see for ourselves." "When do we leave?" asked Cormac. "As soon as I'm fit to ride," replied Reagan. "Then we'd best be returning home," said Bowrick. "We did what we set out to do. Best of luck to you, lads." "And we'd welcome you in the coming fight," Cormac said. Would that we could, lad," replied Bowrick. "We've got a fight brewing back home, and our kinsmen need us." The warriors all clasped forearms before the dwarves began gathering their gear. "Shouldn't you wait till first light to be traveling?" asked Reagan. "Not the way we're traveling, lad," replied Bowrick. "We're using magic to take us back to Valgard." "Will we ever see each other again?" asked Cormac. "Anything's possible," answered Bowrick. "Perhaps next time it'll be in our world. Until then, keep your sword sharp and your beard dry." With that, the dwarves turned and vanished into the trees. After a few moments, there was a brief flash of blue light from deeper in the shadows of the woods, and they knew the dwarves were gone. "I do not know about ye," said Cormac, "but I think their world sounds interesting, to say the least." Reagan smiled and turned back toward the hut. "Come, brother," said Reagan. "It's time we build the scabbards for our blades. We cannot walk around with them in our hands all the time." And that's the end of that chapter, and we're fixed to start the next one. Let's see. That was chapter 8. We're getting ready to start chapter 9. Get this started. Insert page break. All right. Now I need to share this. Hold on. Okay. Okay. So starting this one, this will be Chapter 9. What do we want to name the 9th chapter?
Well, according to Jeff, we want to name it Cheesesteak.
Any suggestions? And what do we want this chapter to be about? Is this going to be Gideon and the Romans marching north, or is this going to be them heading to the Citadel? What do you guys think? Number one, we need to know what the chapter is going to be about, and then we need to know a name for it.
Well, let's see. Dalton says the ninth march into infamy. Northwood says Curse of the Hoe Bag is already a story about my ex. Let's see. Callan says Citadel.
Call it Into the North.
Yeah.
Because that's where they're going. They're marching north into Caledonia.
Lene says the Northern March.
Chili Welchek just says Gideon. Romans going north. Eyes watching the North March. That's a little long, but it's good. How about... Those are pretty good. Robbie, what do you think?
Well, are we going to go back to Gideon?
Yeah, I'm thinking that seems to be what everybody's leaning toward, is going back to Gideon.
Let's see.
How about the Long Dark Road?
That's pretty good.
What do you guys think? The Long Dark Road.
I was thinking something like March of the Damned, but I kind of like that because we know what's going to happen to them.
All right, what do you guys think of that? It's not set in stone yet. I just put it on the screen just to kind of see how it looked. Don Donaldson says the 9th goes north under watchful eyes. Again, a little long for a chapter title, but not bad. I'm going to go back up and grab something real quick. So it would be, what's 21? Is it XXI?
I think so. We also got Road to Ruin, Into the Fray, Ninth Nord, North to the Unknown.
Oh, kind of like Road to Ruin.
Jeff Rose says Road to War.
Those are all pretty good.
Road to Destiny.
That's not bad. That's pretty good. Nick Morris says even evil upon soldiers that have gone north. Kathy Steen, I like March into Infamy. That's not bad. Arlen says Now We Fight. Hell's March. The Cursed North March. Ooh, how about this? Oops, I took the caps lock off. How's that?
You need to capitalize the D.
That is the capital because I was using caps lock.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, how about this one?
I like either of those, to be honest with you.
So what do you guys think? Let's kind of get everybody's idea. You like this one? You want to go with something else? Road of the Damned?
I think we need to kind of frame what's going to happen to them. So I think we kind of need to lean towards something like that, in my opinion.
Okay. All righty. Well then, all right. How to start this? Robbie, what do you think? How should we start this off?
I think probably need to hit on, I don't know if you want to start with this, but I would probably start with something like, how far past them leaving are we jumping in?
Well, they're going to be at least 2 days march into Caledonia.
I mean, so we're jumping in when they're already 2 days, or are we jumping in just as they were leaving?
Oh, no. They were leaving before this last chapter.
Okay, so we're jumping in 2 days into it.
Right. Let's see.
Okay, then
at the beginning of chapter 7 was the 14th of March, so they're almost a weekend.
Okay, so my suggestion would be that open up with Gideon, kind of maybe Gideon. What's Gideon's centurion? The guy that was his second before he became a centurion. What's his name again? It's been so long I can't remember.
Same here. Gideon's name at the time was Quintus.
Yeah, but the other guy, the one that he trusts, the one that he had the little quiet conversation with. Okay,
we're gonna have to go back up and find out. Claudius.
I would open with Gideon and Claudius kind of riding maybe towards the front, away from everybody else, having another quiet conversation about how uneasy the road is felt, and you just kind of a little foreshadowing of what's going on, and maybe Claudius talking about the men seem to be getting a little more uneasy the further they get into it. Just kind of lean into that ominous feeling that something's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. If I could type tonight.
Hey, Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. Ah, God dang it. That is not what I meant to hit.
Silence is unnerving, or
Yeah. So good catch. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
yep.
That's the word I'm looking for there.
Removing his helmet so he could hear more clearly. Would that be better than?
Yeah.
You spell Claudius.
Oops.
Oh, Claudius. Claudius's messy older brother.
Sounds like a venereal disease.
That too.
I got the Cludius.
Yep. Hey, William.
Hey, William. And of course, I spelled that wrong. There we go. If I could spell tonight, that would be great.
Present day Gideon would say, knock that shit off.
Yeah. Hi, Dorothy. William, I've got 37 in print, and we've got like 4 others in various stages of completion. 37 if you count the anthologies that I'm part of. Without the anthologies, it's like 34. Okay, so good night, Jennifer. Thank you, going off grid. Thank you. Okay. So, what next? We want Gideon to go brief the Legata, so we're going to kick something loose.
So do you,
You know my motto: when things start getting a little slow, I start a fight.
well, that's why I was going to suggest we could shift to where or whoever the enemy is and start planning what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, we could definitely do that. How to do that?
Well, I guess it really depends on who's going to launch this attack. It's going to be something like what got Reagan or what attacked him, or you got something else in mind, or
Not hunched.
you did waiting 3 times. Is that what you meant to do? Just
Yeah, that was intentional.
okay. I didn't know if you meant to do waiting, watching for their chance.
That's a good idea. Should I name them?
I mean, I would, but you know, that
Okay, so let's name them. We got 4 of these things. We need some names.
so are these what's their origin? Are these going to be
Well, they'd be Celtic
North-
tribesmen.
oh, they're going to be Celtic?
Yeah, they'd be part of the Caledonian tribes.
I didn't know if you were going leaning in since you had some of the Norse mixed in. I didn't know if these were going to be like
Not
Norsemen.
yet. Not yet.
Nothing she just typed showed up.
The heck just happened?
I heard you clacking away, and it's just saying, "Of course."
I was trying to search something on the Googles.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
I thought you were typing, and there was nothing going
no, I
up.
was trying to look something up on Google, and it went crazy. It threw my browsers all over the place. Well, there's one issue with including Vikings. Where we're at right now is about 650 years too soon.
Well, that's why I asked.
The first Viking raids were in the 790s. Unfortunately. But we can make it work. Okay, well, what do you guys recommend for names? I need 4 names. Although I haven't said yet, I need 3 males, 1 female.
Three males, 1 female, Carmen.
Chicken Bird says Viking ancestors. Maybe. But the Celts, if you compare Celtic mythology to Norse mythology, they're very similar. In fact, the Celtic gods are very much like the Norse gods, just with different names.
Mm-hmm. Dagda.
Mm-hmm. Specifically Dagda.
Tyrannus. Cernos. Might see some of those names very soon.
Yeah, I just might. I wonder where that would happen.
Oh,
Lone Queen says Mishka. Nick says Taven. I like Taven for the leader. Let's take that one. I like Mishka too. That'd be good one for the female.
yeah. Amy says she's been dealing with King Arthur for too many years, and she probably would like our books then, because
I think so.
we have a lot of Arthurian stuff in all of our books, or a good many of them. Particularly this one, Grail, Blood Oath, and Grail, Avalon Rising. And yes, Amy, this is a novel. This is kind of so DA and I can show y'all what our writing process is and let y'all help out with this. And so when this is done and published, we're still going to do what we said originally, DA, and give the proceeds to 22 a Day Foundation.
Yeah.
So,
or Mission 22. They'll go to a veterans charity for this book.
Yep. So this is a group effort, Amy. So just to let you know, and we're just kind of pulling the curtain back so y'all can see what our process is when we write. You misspelled Taven on the second go round. You spelled it I-N instead of E-N.
Oops. Good catch. I spelled that wrong. There, it auto-corrected on me. Forgot I was supposed to be typing in the vernacular, so to speak.
I didn't even register that.
Me either. How did I press? There we go. I need to name that other one because I can't just say can't keep saying the second one. They didn't. Okay. Let's get a name right there, and then I can go to Bryn. There we go. We'll take that. Sorry, I just got a cold nose stuck to my arm.
Oh,
Harley snuck up on me. You guys want to see Harley? See if I can move the camera.
He's Harley.
Little old Harley bear. Good boy. Yes, you are. You make it very hard for me to write when you keep rooting your head under my arm, though. He just wants some attention.
He says your point is?
Yeah, you don't care. He's like, scritches are more important than whatever it is you're doing on that keyboard. Here, I'll stop sharing for just a minute. Let me go bigger here, and then everybody can get a good look at him. There's the old man. And now he runs off. He's like, nope, not sticking around. Goofy dog. All right, let me get that back up on screen.
He's like, Dad, I'm not ready. My hair's not fixed.
Okay, Bowers, yeah, you're right. He's not opposed to that either. He likes to wait till I'm napping in my recliner, and he's tall enough where he can lean over the arm of the recliner, and he'll come up and lick me on the side of the face when he wants to go outside. I'm like, God dang it! I'll come out of there about swinging. Goofy dog. Okay. Good night, Amy. Thanks for popping in. Northwoods, the challenges of a writer who has a dog, especially a dog that doesn't care what you're doing. He wants attention when he wants it. Robbie, if you want, you can put questions and comments up on the screen.
I'm so used to us being on our other platform that I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, if you want to put comments and questions and stuff up, that'll be much easier because when I look at the chat, I kind of derail my train of thought a little bit.
Okay. I like I said, I'm so used to us on the other platform that I can't do that anymore. It's just I forgot completely about that. Sorry, my fault.
No worries. Okay, Bowers, I saw that same picture. That was funny. How much have we done?
A good bit. Like probably 3 or 4 pages.
Yeah, close to 4 pages. Yeah, we're on the 4th page. That's not bad. Trying to think of what to do next.
Let's see. You want to flip back to Gideon trying to talk to the goddess?
The goddess? You mean the goddess? I thought you said goddess. I'm like, what
No,
goddess?
I said you want to flip back to Gideon trying to talk to the goddess.
Yeah.
Well, you know how my accent works by now.
It's about as bad as my hillbilly accent.
Don, we don't have to worry about that here. We're on our old platform tonight.
What was the other one? The Primus Pilus?
Yeah, Primus Pilus.
I want to double check that. Gideon's.
Yeah, what? Gideon got promoted
To Primus Pilus.
Yeah, so what was the goddess
So
and
you got to Tribunus, Lotta Claudius.
yes, Tribunus, yes. It's hard coming back after like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. And I just completely forgot. What was it? What
Tribunus.
was the Tribunus?
Tribunus. Yeah, Don, on Monday nights, we're on our own. We're not on an X on Monday nights. That's just Wednesdays and Saturdays. But thank you for reminding us, even though
That's why it underlined it, because I spelled it wrong.
oh, well, there you go.
I don't want to say mouthful and mouth in the same sentence.
Yeah, there you go. His mouth. Should that be his mouth instead of just into mouth?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I forgot to. What is that mulled wine with vinegar that they drink? Was it Polk?
I think that's what it was. There again, it's been three weeks since we talked about it. I think that sounds right.
Dorothy says, is Harley named after a motorcycle? No, Harley was a rescue, and he was already named when we got him. He was about 6 months old when we got him. He's about 12 now, but his name was already Harley, and we decided not to change it. Nick, in a situation like this, they probably wouldn't have any. Get something to eat, Miss Lene. Take care of yourself.
Hold on, let me check it right quick while you're thinking. Posca, Posca.
Yeah, I was looking it up. Yeah, you beat me to it.
You were close.
POSCA.
Yep.
No, I won't say nodding respectfully because he doesn't have any respect for either of them.
No. Or you could say as respectfully as he could muster or something like that. But I think you just leave it that way. What that Marcinko used to say in his books? He said sir, but he meant cur.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he said sir, but it was spelled C-U-R or something like that.
Yeah. Northwood says, sir is not spelled A-S-S. Might have said sir, but I was thinking a-hole. I've known a few admin like that I've worked for. I might have said sir, but that's not what was going through my head. I need a Roman name.
Have we used anything like Crixus or anything like that yet?
Yeah, I think Crixus got used. Let me check.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's was the Primus Pilus who was killed.
That's why it was in my mind then, I guess.
Oh no, he's the guy that's the Tribunus now. He got promoted to Tribunus.
Richie says pilot from the Bible.
I really wish I'd quit hitting that fat finger in the keys. Oops. Just shifted the margins with a single keystroke. Control M does that. I was trying to hit Shift M. Control M changes your margin.
Heck, I barely remember how to add a footnote that you showed me.
Oh, it's pretty easy. Like to add a footnote, let's say I wanted to make a footnote next to, well, let's say Primus Pilus. You click right next to it, and then you hit Control Alt F, and that drops down here. And then you'd put Primus Pilus Senior Centurion of the Legion. That's pretty much it. Really easy day.
I remember it. I struggle to remember it though.
Sorry, I was looking for something.
Yeah, I was answering a question.
Need a Roman name.
Uh, how about Barabbas?
Maybe. Richie says tomorrow I have a heart doctor appointment because my blood pressure is low and my pulse is way too high. Well, dude, we'll be praying for you, man. I definitely know how you feel there. I don't mess around with anything with the heart. That's that's pretty serious. So yeah, we'll be praying for you, dude. Oh, dude, it's almost 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd go late, but I know you got to get up for work in the morning. How about we stop it here? That is, I think, 6 pages from top of 87 to mid part of 94. Yeah, that's like 7 pages.
That's
Okay.
pretty good.
All right. Well, then we will stop right here with tension building for the coming fight. So what do you guys think so far? Anybody got any questions, comments, or suggestions? Thank you, Ed. Well, I think we covered a lot of ground. 6 pages is pretty solid,
Yeah, that's good.
especially for just basically writing for about an hour and a half. So that's pretty solid.
Yeah, and I think we got a good foundation building because we went on both sides of the fight, established some new characters.
Yeah, I think we set the groundwork really good for a big fight coming. I was going to say something and I completely forgot what it was. Y'all again, keep Richie in your prayers, but keep Eric in your prayers as well. I know he's going through a lot of rough spot right now, and they've been putting up his PayPal link up. If you guys can, throw a few bucks his direction. If you can't, that's fine. I totally get it. Just prayers are always helpful. But he's in a pretty bad spot, and we're all trying to do as much as we can to help him out. I was going to say something else too. But yeah. If you can send anything through PayPal, and it goes straight to him. That's his PayPal link. That doesn't come to us. That doesn't go to any middleman. That goes straight to Eric. So 100% goes straight to him, and that's the way it should be. And hopefully we'll know more in the next day or two. And I don't have anything else to share with you right now about what's going on. Hopefully, like I said, in the next day or two we'll know something more, and we'll be able to share that with you. But also you've been seeing pop up throughout the night. K-Bar says, DA, it don't hurt that you can type as fast as you do. I'd still be hunting and pecking the first page. Well, over the course of all the books I've written, my typing skills have gotten much better. When I first started writing, I was pretty slow. I'd probably type on average of maybe 15 to 20 words a minute, just and now I don't even look at the keyboard anymore. I've gotten good enough where I just and when I'm really on a roll and I don't have a lot of distractions, I can really put some words on paper. But for the most part, I do about what you've seen tonight, just kind of that kind of pace. But it does get books turned out as clearly as you can see, and Robbie can tell you how much is your typing improved from book 1 to now.
Lot.
Practice helps, man.
Yeah, I still look at the keyboard, but it's getting faster.
I ain't nothing wrong with looking at the keyboard. I still have to do it from time to time, especially if I get my fingers shifted a little bit. I'll start typing gibberish and go, "Oh, I'm over too far." Like, that's not what I meant to type. What the heck? I'll get a word pop up and have no idea what it's supposed to say. And I'll be looking down. Oh, my fingers are moved.
Them old home row keys.
Yeah.
The SDF, JKL, semicolon.
I've got a pretty cool little keyboard that Annette bought me. It lights up, but it's like an old time keyboard, like on the old typewriters. It even makes the clicking sounds. I like it. It's fun to write on. Only bad part is it doesn't have a number pad, but I just do it the old fashioned way. Want to take a minute to make sure you guys are remembering to check out the books, not just by me and Robbie, but by Luca. Check out Luca's awesome books. I had that up there here shortly. Sure. Where is it? There we go.
Got it?
Yep, I got it. Check out Luca's books. You can find all of her books at lucatjacobs.com or on amazon.com. Her books are available in print, Kindle, and audio, just like ours. She's a fantastic author, very prolific, got a lot of good stuff out. You guys will really like the Nicole Beretti books. If you like our cryptid stuff, mine and Robbie's, you'll like hers. While her writing style is obviously going to be different because no two writers are the same, thematically they're very similar. Could very easily see Nicole Beretti showing up in one of my books. I mean, she's that good of a character. And while you're at it, once you got done checking out Luca's books, check out the newest release by this maniac over here, demon on the keyboards, typing like crazy. Yeah, this one's called Avalon Rising, and if you haven't read his other books, y'all are missing out. You need to get them. Again, they're all available in Kindle, in print, and in audio. And I think you're really going to like them because they certainly tie into the greater universe. And I think that's really cool that we're able to connect that because it allows not only for us to build on each other, but it really expands the universe. And to me, that's what more could you ask for as a writer? I mean, we've got so much just material to work with now, and we're adding to it constantly. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. I can tell you for a fact, old Robbie's really put the challenge to me, not only to keep up with the number of books he's putting out, but also to keep my creativity at as high as I can keep it. Because, I'll come up with an idea. Well, like, for example, Grail. Grail was a one sentence mention in Demon of Paladuro Canyon. But I knew as soon as I wrote that line that it was significant. And then Robbie and I got to talking when he said he wanted to do a team set in Europe. And I said, what about Grail? He goes, what the heck's Grail? I referred him back to Demon of Paladuro. And he's like, oh, I'd forgotten about that. And that one line was the perfect setup hook for that entire team that he's building in Europe. And to me, it's just astounding because that was a throwaway line.
Yep.
But I knew it was significant when I wrote it because I went, I hadn't really planned on setting a book in Europe, but this is setting up for a series. I just didn't realize I was setting up for a series for someone else to write. And Robbie's doing the same thing. He'll mention something and I'll go, ooh, I need to put that little detail in. And we really kind of found a way to play off of each other. And it's not only challenging for me as a writer, but it opens up so many other possibilities. Little side things that I might have mentioned and forgotten. Robbie will take that little thread and run with it, or vice versa. There's a couple instances. Well, like the character of the director in which book was that, Robbie?
That was the third Shadow Walkers book.
Third Shadow Walkers. I tied that the director leaving the Tennessee containment zone in his book right in to Devil of the Absarokas. And while Well, well, it might look like I killed the character off. You guys might be in for a surprise. But that played. I mean, it just played right in with a perfect little detail. And I think these details are going to continue to expand and give us both more opportunities of even bigger stories to tell. So definitely check out all of Robbie's book. He's got 7 currently in print with 2 more on the way, probably 1 coming in the next week or so, and then probably another one a couple weeks beyond that. I'm about 30,000 words, a little over 30,000 words on Leviathan down. And when I send that out to the alphas, I'll probably be sending it out tonight. Alphas, when I send it out, you're going to need to start from the beginning, because I went back to the very beginning and changed a bunch of stuff, and I added in another chapter because I realized I was going to need something else to set up the dive platform for the team. So I had to go back in and add in a bunch of detail in an entire additional chapter. So you may want to start from the beginning, because there's a lot of stuff changed. But if you enjoy those kind of stories like Robbie and Luca writes, you'll probably enjoy mine as well. And you can find my newest one, Devil of the Absarokas, along with all my other titles on Amazon or at daroberts.net. And we'd love to have you guys with us on this journey, because we've said it many times and we'll always say it. Writing is a journey that we take together. Stories are journeys that we take together. And we're proud that you guys have chosen to take these journeys with us. And one of the coolest things that I've experienced as an author is talking to people who have read my books and hearing them describe the characters or the scenes in their words. It's like seeing those characters through a whole different set of eyes. It's really cool to see my stories. And like I said, I mentioned it many times. I'm just a farm kid from Lebanon, Missouri, but to see stories that I've written touch people so far and wide. I'm sure Robbie has the same feeling I get to hear if somebody from Australia who likes my books, or somebody somewhere in Europe who's read my stories. It just astounds me, and it's fantastic, and it's part of this experience that I really love.
And it still astounds me that anybody from anywhere is reading my books. Like Curtis just asked, well, Kirk and Tina, for him to remember those characters and ask like that astounds me. And it humbles me. But to answer your question, Curtis, you might get that question answered sooner rather than later. And let's just say yes, they will be back, but maybe not quite like you're asking. Aha.
Nick says, have you guys ever thought about one of the groups fighting feral people? Maybe. Right now, we're trying to wrap up the whole story involving the Ouroboros Society, because that spans multiple series. The Ouroboros Society is the big bad threat. And so we're kind of gearing up toward an Avengers Endgame style crossover where everybody's taking their part of the fight. It's not going to be all one big battlefield. There's going to be a battle in Europe. There's going to be a battle in Central America. There's going to be a battle here in the U.S. and then maybe even a battle somewhere else. And we're still kind of drawing all those plot lines in together. Yeah, but once we're done with the Ouroboros, then we'll start branching out into other stories like that. Robbie's got a story in the works that I think you guys are going to really like, because it doesn't really tie into the Ouroboros stuff, but it does tie into the rest of the universe. And I think you guys are really going to like this story. Robbie, you want to tell them a little bit about it?
Are we talking about VOB?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like DA said, this is not Ouroboros, but it does tie into the other things that we've talked about and hinted on. For those of you that have been in the chat when we've talked shows about Jules Verne's and things like that, this is going to be called Valley of Bones, and it's going full Vernian pretty much.
I don't want to give anything away,
No,
but there's a certain soundtrack that plays through my head when I'm reading that.
Go ahead and say you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I mean, there's still going to be plenty of book for people to read. So say what you want to say.
I was just saying that every time I start reading that book, I don't want. I hope I'm not giving too much away here, but as soon as I start reading, I hear do 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 do.
Yeah, that's a very very apt tune to be playing when you read that book.
It wasn't when I first started. I'm like, oh, what is this? And then once I realized what was going on, now I can't quit. I can't quit playing that song in my head.
Yeah, it's that one's the one he's talking about that probably coming out a couple weeks after. So again, kind of like Kodiak, where as of right now, there's no direct mentions, but Kodiak is it's happening in the same universe. There was just not any direct mention of anything, but you never know. There might be something in the pipes and in the works that
there just might be.
So, but and this one, well, just the brief synopsis of it. It takes place in Papua New Guinea, and a scientific expedition. They're studying seismic activity in Papua New Guinea. Something happens. They get a distress radio emergency broadcast out, and this is the main reason that DA couldn't use the Enterprise like he wanted.
It's not done yet. It wasn't Enterprise. It was not
the Enterprise. Was it the Ronald Reagan? Which one did I use?
The Reagan. Yeah, the Reagan.
Yeah.
Because Reagan's part of Pacific Fleet, so I needed one for the Atlantic Fleet, and I was going to use Enterprise, but Enterprise is not scheduled to even start our trials until like 2027.
But anyway, the Ronald Reagan was on, routine.
The Reagan is Pacific Fleet. I needed one in Atlantic Fleet, so I ended up using the Ford carrier group for Leviathan Down.
So the Reagan catches the emergency broadcast, and it's pretty much just a Marine SAR group that goes in and ends up getting in way over their heads. It's not a group of elite special forces like the Wild Hunt or the Grail team. This is just a
search and rescue team.
A search and rescue team of Marines that gets in way over their heads.
Who went in basically just looking for this missing team, and ran into something that they had no idea was waiting for them. So yeah, I've really enjoyed what I've read of that so far. Yeah, you guys are going to enjoy it
too. So,
well, anywho, I'm going to start winding things down because Robbie's got to get to bed because he gets up at dark 30, and I've still got some more writing to do tonight. I need to pump out a few more 1,000 words on Leviathan Down. But again, don't forget the 22 a day foundation. We lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, and that is 22 too many. So reach out to your friends and family that are first responders or military veterans in any capacity. Doesn't matter. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know you care, because let's not let them face these demons alone. Let them know someone cares. Let them know they've got a place to go if they need help. And if you're a veteran or you're a first responder and you're needing help, there'll be a number that's at the end of this broadcast that you can call or text, either way, and you definitely reach out. I mean, don't be afraid to reach out. You wouldn't go into combat alone, so why face this alone? I would rather hear your story than read your obituary. So if you don't have anybody else and you don't want to reach out to one of them, reach out to one of us. I mean, I'm happy to answer your email or text you or whatever. Just shoot me a message through Facebook. I'm there. If I can help, I will. And again, got the link down here. Keep Eric in your prayers and keep Richie in your prayers. And we all appreciate your prayers. I mean, we could all use them from time to time. Because life is At the end of the day, life is just a collection of stories. Whether they're stories you've read in a book or stories you've experienced yourself, life is made up of stories. And I think the written word and the storytelling in books is possibly the greatest gift mankind ever gave itself. Because without that, look where we would be. We wouldn't have television. We wouldn't have radio. We wouldn't have books to read. If this was like the Dark Ages and very few people could read, where would we be? I mean, it's the stories. I mean, even before before you could learn to read as a child. I mean, I know in my case, my mother used to tell me stories or read books to me. It's those stories that were so binding. Those stories were so impactful, and they really became a shared experience, especially when you like read to somebody. And that's something, you folks, if you ever want to do it, it's a very worthwhile thing to do. Take a book, go to a nursing home and read out loud, and you'll find that a lot of people truly respond to it and really appreciate it. Or go to a library and read to kids. Read your favorite stories. Share those stories. One of the coolest things I ever experienced as an author was a lady that came up to me to have me autograph one of my first books that came out, one of the first of the Ragnarok Rising books. And when she took it out of her bag, this was a heavily dog-eared book. I mean, it was like all splayed open. The covers were all wrinkled. This book had obviously been not only read but loved. And she goes, I've read this like 9 times. She says, I've loaned it to my sister. I've loaned it to my cousins. She says, it's been read a lot. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. She was like, I am so sorry it's in such bad shape. I'm like, no, books should look like this. Books aren't meant to be pretty on a shelf. Books are meant to be read. Books are meant to be loved. Those stories are meant to be shared. Because at the end of the day, if you read a book till it falls apart, you can always get another copy. But the memories you've made, the stories you've shared along the way, that is what you're going to be remembered for. The stories that you shared with everybody you care about. Whether it's stories about the time you went canoeing together and flipped the canoe and almost got bit by a snapping turtle, happened to me, by the way, or stories from the military, or stories from when you worked as a firefighter. Those stories that you shared with your family and your loved ones along the way, those are the things that they're going to remember most. They're not going to remember that you worked as a pharmacist. That's not going to matter. They're not going to remember that you worked 40 hours a week or 60 hours a week or 80 hours a week. They're not going to remember all that. They're going to remember the times that you sat around telling them stories, the memories you make together. And that's exactly what stories are. They're a written memory. And that's why I'm so thrilled that you guys have chosen to enjoy these stories with us. You can't thank you guys enough for that. And that's not just for me. That's for Robbie. That's for Luca. That's for every author out there. Heath Stallcup, Alan Gamboa, Jonathan Mayberry. It doesn't matter who it is. Those stories bind us together. And it's amazing how I could take a book right now and take a copy, a book neither of us have ever read, give a copy to Robbie and take a copy myself, and we could read it. And when we compared notes, we would have read the same words, but the imagery that each of us had would be different. Because it's not only is it a unique experience to you, it's also a shared experience, because we can compare notes on these stories and discover each other's points of view on these things. And that's really the cool part, is how each of us experience those stories. Robbie, anything else you want to throw in there?
No, like I said, just keep Eric in your prayers, keep Richie in your prayers. Go out and buy a book and read. Even
Absolutely.
if it's not from one of us, which hopefully it's from one of us, but even if it's not from one of us, go get you a book and read, because reading is, I think it's at some points here recently, it's almost like they've tried to kind of snuff it out with what it's it's like working in a school all day. Kids don't have books anymore. They don't have textbooks anymore, and it's just, there's something about having to sit down and even in school having to sit down and read something. That's a lost art almost. So keep the stories going, keep the stories alive.
I'm thinking about putting a box of my books together and taking it up and donating it to the local high schools. Now, granted, they'd have to be, high schools, because it's really some of the action and the gore is probably, and maybe even some of the language, not really good for like middle schoolers, but definitely high school. I mean, the high schoolers could read it or take them, donate them to the public library.
Yeah, I've actually had several people tell me since I work in the same city that I graduated, somebody told me I need to give some of my books to high school since I graduated there, and I'm a published author now. But you know me, I can't just.
I think it's a good idea. I think you should do it.
It's hard for me to hear. Would you like my? That's hard for me. If they asked me, I would. But for me, just going up there, that's to me seems too vain.
Well, you work at the school. Talk to the librarian at the high school. They would probably be thrilled to death to not only have new books for the kids, but to have an example of like, look, this guy went to the high school you're going to right now, and he's an author. He's done all of this stuff. I think it's a great idea, dude. I think you should do it.
Maybe.
I still think you should, but I won't keep badgering you about it. Kids quoting Margolin, probably not the best role model.
Well, depending on how you look at it, it could be a good role model.
Yeah, well, at least a bad example.
That too.
Okay, folks, we're going to go ahead and wind it down so Robbie can get to bed, and I quit bending your ear. But again, just share those stories, folks. Check out all of our books. Check out any books by any of your favorite authors. Make sure you're leaving reviews, because reviews really do help drive sales. Don't forget to leave that review on Amazon, or take a minute and tell your favorite author how much you appreciate their work, because believe me, there are moments when every author has had so much doubts about what they're doing that they've considered quitting. That's from Jonathan Mayberry to somebody that isn't even published yet. That every author at some point doubts themselves to the point they consider quitting. And they never know when that, hey, I really appreciate your writing. I appreciate all the work you do. Thank you. That kind of thing goes a long way. So reach out to your favorite author. And I don't care who it is. It could be anybody I mentioned or anybody that I haven't, because there are a lot of authors out there. And I've never, ever seen another author as my competition. I want all authors to succeed. Just because you read my books doesn't mean you can't read Robbie's. Just because you read Lucas' books don't mean you can't read John Mayberry's books. Just because you read Stephen King doesn't mean you can't read Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, people love stories, and especially interesting stories. And we're really thrilled that you guys have taken the time to hang with us and to enjoy our stories and to share those stories. And that goes a long way. Believe me, word of mouth is probably the best advertisement we can get. And I know some of y'all have been sharing some of my books. I've seen some folks sharing Robbie's. Folks, that is huge. When we post a link on a book, or you want to post a link on a book and you post it on your social media, that is huge, because it really gets us out there into the public. Word of mouth, probably the best advertisement you can hope to get as an author. I know I've read a lot of books that people are like, hey, have you read this book? I'm like, no, never heard of it. I've read a lot of books that way that I'm really glad I did. Discovered a lot of fantastic authors that way. So if you've got a favorite author, if you got somebody that you really want to support, go to Amazon, copy the link, and share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Pinterest, share it on any platform you're on, because believe me, those go a long way to help writers get their names out there. And especially us indie authors who don't have the budget of a large publishing company behind us to do advertising, that really helps a lot. So share your favorite authors. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know that you enjoy their works and that they need to keep going, because sometimes the struggle is real, believe me. But as we're winding her down, we're going to close her out with a different toast that we've been using on this show. And Robbie, I've been running my mouth for like 10 minutes. Do you want to take us out with the toast?
Sure.
Hold on. I got to take off the... God dang it. This thing is not working right. Here we go. Okay. There you go.
All right. Don't have to take your hat off for this one. Whatever you got, say it along with us. There are good ships and wooden ships and ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships, and may they always be. Sanjama, see you Wednesday.
See you guys on Wednesday night. Thank you for being with us.
Plains, the winds are howling, saloon doors swinging, shadows growling. Three lawmen stand tough as rawhide. Yeah, Doc DA, nothing can abide. Whiskey shots and poker faces, staring down the darkest spaces in this town where legends roam. These boys bring justice, sending evil home. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rain. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Jed's a howler, claws of steel. Doc's a biter, makes the devil real. But DA's a shifty one, a shape-shifting soul. Can turn to anything, takes any form, takes control. Tonight the chupacabras come to town, sucking the life from all around. But these lawmen, they ain't afraid. They'll face the darkness unafraid. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rain. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the endless night. Bat wings flap, the air grows cold, a chill and trap. But these lawmen, they're ready to fight underneath the pale moonlight. Jed and Doc transform with a howl. DA shifts, becomes a night owl. Together they stand, a force so strong against the evil right in the road. Cryptid lawmen, wild and free, hunting monsters for all to see. With silver bullets and grit of steel, they fight the darkness, make the demons squeal. From dusty canyons to moonlit plains, justice rides with wind and rains. Cryptid lawmen, a fearsome sight, standing tall against the